says we're live, so now I'm going to read out the following. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How
and
are
it's
you?
me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 5th of April to the 11th of April, 2021. At some point, I shall have to learn where you are on the screen in my real life so I can point to you when I'm doing the introductions. I can point to Niall because I know he's down below.
Ooh.
But I'm like, is Dwayne
Right.
that side or is he the outside? No idea.
I'm going to wait till the video feed catches up to you, and I'll tell you.
In my general vicinity is Dwayne Malone.
We have a solitary exception, of course, which is VLADLOVE, episode 9, Bolt Love. Not Bolt Love, that's wrong. It's
Bolt Style.
I've written it in wrong.
Yeah.
It being a parody
Yes,
of
Screw
the
Style.
comic Screw Style.
Indeed.
Yeah, I hate things that are like references for the sake of references, but at least this fucking explains every fucking reference it's going to make in meticulous detail.
Also, I would say reference is underselling it. What it is doing is pretty much...
Yeah, fair enough.
It says homage at the end,
Retelling.
but it's pretty much just telling the story of... I was able to find Screw Star because I recognised the first image of... Because it's Bamba holding her arm at the beach and complaining about being stung by a jellyfish, and it's cut open... is it a vein or an artery?
Artery.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I know this image. This is an image I have seen many times. And to the point where I'm like, have I read the comic?
It just loomed large and it gets on the back sections of the exhibition catalogue when they had that manga show in the British Museum there a couple of years back now. I remember that big page where it's coming onto the beach being quite prominent in it. Sticks out.
Yeah, so then I think someone on the Wikipedia page does supply a link to a translation of it on an academic publications page, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's just the story told here, but the story told here also has bits out of other comics by Yoshiharu Suge, which I did not familiarise myself, but I have to assume they are also pretty much adapted one for one almost, but maybe with a few other gags. So I was like, this is really pushing the limits of parody, and then it said homage at the end with the text. And I was like, even homage is pushing it somewhat.
Cogging someone else's homework. Feels like a little bit.
Hey, it was a bolt.
I mean, like, I guess if they didn't, I guess if they didn't literally say the person who did it, the works that they copied, then it would be like, come on, lads, you can't get away with that. But they're going like, no, we know what we fucking did. We're admitting it.
This is like fucking one of Roboco's comics.
A bit better drawn, I suppose.
Yes. There's a strip which originally ran in Garrow in 1968. There's a live-action adaptation of it and a video game.
A video game was what surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, all video games are good at existentialism, right? So, yeah.
I don't know what grabbing all these coined this thing. It probably got something to say about this capitalist society. But why is he after them so much?
Yes.
I don't know many video games that are good at nihilism, but I mean, like, I guess a no-win scenario in the old NES days or something like that.
Anyway, yes. Bamba tries to find a doctor to fix her arm. She has various strange encounters with people who do a very poor job of directing her towards a doctor, who are all played by the other cast members, until eventually is directed to a gynecologist who she has sex with and has her arm fixed by putting a bit of piping across with a bolt in it and is warned not to turn it off and on. And then she leaves again in a boat. That's it. It's not really worth...
Inspired
by it, yes. It's very good, but it feels like redundant in recapping what happens in it, because it itself is recapping what it happens in other comics.
Yeah, like I guess it's a thing of everyone, presumably, or a lot of people would know this story, but we're seeing the characters that we know and
Yes.
love play those roles. And in the case of those three guys, I think this is the most screen they've ever fucking gotten, the most dialogue they've ever gotten. In Did they get two or three different roles? They're the army men and they're the little kids outside the shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I guess it's that kind of idea. It's like, you know this thing, but it's a little different now that this character is playing it. Yeah.
Maybe remember, oh, she's more involved than you think, and you know it's that, oh, they're like weekly review formats and lots of podcasts and stuff like that. He's just sending this out to you just to fuck us up. Onto your game, old man.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get variation throughout this series, episode to episode. This is unsurprisingly one of the episodes that Mamoru actually wrote.
Really?
What? No way.
Well, whatever you think about it, it's definitely unlike anything else that's airing right now.
Yeah,
That is true. Then, on to the weekly stuff. We've got to crack on because we've got a lot. We're going to start with Fruits Basket, episode 1. I'll hold another banquet. Oh, I can put the feet up now. All right. Lads, take it away.
Get it on.
Like a lot of it is recap.
Right back, yeah, right where the previous series left off. With that bombshell revelation that, oh my goodness, he's not Kakuru. Oh my god.
You can remember all the names though. Yeah, yeah.
He's the rooster of the Zodiac. He's kind of giving some real secrets to Toru there about, oh yeah, I'm gonna go hug you right now. I can turn into an animal though because I'm free of the curse. It's like, whoa, what? What's that? Oh yeah, guess what? This fucking secret as well. Like, you know, not a dude, actually a woman. It's like, probably could have put that one together, but all right.
But yeah, and then kind of going into more detail about that she's not like the head of the family, but clearly someone with enough clout to raise her daughter against her daughter's will as a man because God's supposed to be a dude, or something like that. Her mother does appear to be fucking crazy, so I mean, like, that's not really helping much. But abuse being passed down is kind of the idea here.
That's the main thrust of it as well. Like, you know, I mean, this is like a character to keep like locked in her own quarters away from the rest of the family because of how dangerous she is, and this is who was raising you. And it's kind of like, you know, that's vicious streak that's passed down because kind of like the hatred that Akito has for her own mother, kind of takes out everybody else, and also because like her mother doesn't believe in the curse, doesn't believe in like the special bond that they share because you're someone who just like pushes you away, like doesn't kind of value you or doesn't like have care for you at all. So Akito will just cling on to anything they can get, and has that mandatorily from the Zodiacs because they're God, they have to love me. So doing everything in their power to keep them in the circle. And now they're doing this, expressing all their free will, and they're wanting to live outside the house. It's fucking up with their plan.
Yeah, and that's why our rooster boy is saying to Toru that it's just like, yeah, that's why I'm not going to leave her, because even though like I felt that connection to her when she was born, like it was immediately like, oh fuck, I know that God has been born and I have a connection to that. And even though I broke that connection, what I see now is someone who's crying and hurting and that I care about and I don't want to hurt. So I can't get with that girl that I like, who's your friend Toru. So I got to stick by what I said I'd do.
Yeah.
It's like, bye, see ya, peace out. It's kind of like Toru's just kind of left sobbing on the where was it? It was like in a park or something.
Playground.
Yeah. But fortunately, like maybe hours later, after, or at least when the sun has set, her one of her friends arrives, and I guess she sends with witchy magic.
Please, I will spirit you away, as somewhere safe, away from this foul world.
She calls the house and says, it's like, yeah, we're having a God, they don't call it a pajama party. What's their dumb word for it?
We're having a nightgown festival.
Yeah, everything she says sounds really disturbing. Like she's kidnapping Toru, and they're all like, "Hey, don't put it like that. That's weird." Over the telephone.
It's cool,
so that's fun.
It's just like sleeping over, going tea and biscuits, going Toro's overwhelmed by all this. It's just like, this is so much shit. Fucking gods, fucking Zodiac Circle. It's like, I want to help all these like lovely people who've been taking care of me and I'm making friends and want to help them get out of this. By doing so, I'd be shattering your like support network, if you can call it that this other person has. It's fucked up, but I'm the outsider. I feel like I'm intruding in on something that I don't fully understand, and am I kind of in the wrong here? I don't know what to do. Like, she's completely overwhelmed. Doesn't know what to do.
It's like, I wanted to help out my friend, help her find that guy she fancied, but because she was there for me when I was hurting, and I can't do that because the guy who's doing that is doing the thing I do of putting someone else's feelings before his own, and but in a toxic way in this case. And it's a really fucked up situation, and I don't know what to do. Wouldn't you know it? Her friend had been called over as well and heard all the conversation. She didn't go into like the gods and the Zodiac details, but enough detail about the personal situation. It's like, gotcha. So they kind of get to talk it out and let the emotions out, and also take the piss as well, because the brother, our weird little brother's there.
He's like, ooh, I feel so privileged having so many older women falling over me. He's like,
dude, don't make it weird.
Gotta watch out for this kid when he gets into middle school or high school. He's gonna be get so much run for their money.
Yeah, so it kind of goes to a place where it's just like, like things is fucked right now, but it still manages to get towards. It's like, they might improve though. They might get better.
Yeah, like Turk was back the following morning, and it just feels like she's been like missing. Her presence been missing from the house. It's just like, oh, Toru, thank God you're home, because you made dinner last night, and it was less said about that the better. It's like, and
also have trauma over it, yeah.
And you're also saying like, oh no, yeah, thank God, we need your cook. It's like, oh, I found your scarf when we leaving out on the road. You freaking the big Aegis, yeah. But it was just like happy that she's back, because she is our rock. She is the foundations of this household. I mean, needed to have her here because she kind of ties us together and stops us from being mopey degenerates.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's not so much what the change she makes in the episode. It's more so reviewing the change that she already made in this house with these guys. That it's just like, no, you can make a change. Exactly, and it was just like, it kind of ends on that kind of positive note, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it was very, very kind of very peaceful, very serene, and very wholesome, as they say, and it's very gentle again on how it looks. You're getting kind of, we're skipping to the more wintry, colder days now, and they do I kind of like. I always love that kind of very kind of. It's kind of like a dimmer light. You get winter even in the middle of the day, and you get a really nice job of some of those shots in there. It's quite nice and lovely, And playing the trick with the music, where it's just like, stop it, don't be playing that motif over this bit because it's getting me, it's welling up. But it works, and they know it works, and they're going to keep on doing it, and I'm going to keep on watching it.
Then we've got ODDTAXI, Episode 1, The Eccentric Driver.
I'm sorry I kind of made you watch this at the last second. I was just like, I'll watch this. Fuck it. Why not?
I'll put my feet up now.
Well, yeah, because the problem is, it's really good.
It's quite good. That is the problem. Like, yeah.
I'm afraid you'd say that. Shit.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just like, is this just going to be talking animals? And like, no, this is like, oh, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot going on.
Yes, there's a lot going on. And you're like, how much is our central character aware of what's going on, or how much of it is going on around him and he's not really fully aware due to his medical condition that is undisclosed.
Yeah.
But yes, we're following a taxi driver and the people that he meets, are up to all sorts of things, most of it no good, except the doctor, who seems on the up and up, and the bar owner. At the moment, but
not anything right now. But the guy, was he a hippo who came into his taxi? The young hippo guy. He just wanted to like get a viral tweet, basically.
Yes. And he's going to be important because his viral tweet contains an important piece of evidence.
Oh yeah, it does. I forgot about that.
Because
it has to go viral.
So there's a monkey who's up to no good. There's a policeman who's trying to get hold of this monkey. The taxi driver says, well, why can't you get hold of him? You're friends with him. And the other cop, who's his brother, is like, "Why do you say that?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, that taxi driver's always lying. He's lying all the time."
He's full of shit. Don't listen to that fucking walrus. He's an asshole.
But by the end, they clearly do know each other because the monkey has realised that he's been caught on camera by the taxi driver's internal passenger camera. And
not only that, but he was caught on the viral tweet of, was like, okay, I'm going to hand you my phone and you take a selfie of us, and I'll say it's like, hey, I said I was feeling down. My taxi driver said, I'll make you smile, and took my phone off me and took a selfie with me. And that tweet's doing very well. He's like a baboon or a mandrill or something like that. He's in the background of the photo walking through the street, and the police are looking for this guy because in the opening he has a fucking gun.
A mandrill with a gun. Oh, God.
It's dangerous.
Hellboy panel's coming through.
There's a lot of shit going on.
Yes. So under the auspices of looking for a missing high school girl, this cop thinks that she got into the taxi, and that's why he can take the SD card out the camera. But if you go to the police...
And he says, I'm going to check the footage on this. Don't call the police. And he's like, what would happen if I call the police? Nothing. But you'd probably get shot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? That's super fucked. The other thing is, he probably did pick her up because he's in his apartment, seemingly on his own, and talking into the next room and going like, hey, I know you're running away from school, but just know, like, I'm not keeping you here.
Say that.
Not tied up.
It's not quite clear whether it is her. It's somebody saying, I'm not keeping you here. You can leave at any time. So I was like,
I'm going to work now. The door's unlocked, so just let yourself out if you want to head. But that seems to suggest that could be the girl who's ran away from home. Yeah,
it could also be a red herring.
Again, we didn't see her at any
Or it could
stage,
also be something to do with his medical problems.
Maybe he's not in hearing things.
He's not sleeping properly, as his gorilla doctor was kind of saying, and he actually moved the conversation on to start talking about Bruce Springsteen because the gorilla doctor fucking loves Bruce Springsteen.
Oh yes,
it's like, I can distract him because he's an old friend of mine, so we don't have to talk about that. And he does open like sleeping in his taxi. And initially, I thought that was just a thing of, when you're driving at night and you're tired, it's best to go over to the side of the road, take a nap. I thought he was just doing that, but then like the whole sleep thing and him distracted the doctor from the fucking line of questioning is like, are you sleeping okay? And him just going like, Bruce Springsteen. It's like, I love him. It's like, that's a bit suspect.
Oh no, because they're talking about something being a surprise, and it's like they're like, oh, it's when Bruce Springsteen comes in We Are the World after Al Jarreau, and then the gorilla just keeps on saying Bruce Springsteen. He's like, stop showing it off by saying Bruce Springsteen so much. I bet you can't say
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
He's just excited that he can say it.
And
then
twist,
his nurse,
yes.
The nurse, because he's initially like looking at the alpaca nurse, going like, and he's like, oh, does he think she's like attractive or something like that? Because that was the thing, is like, you old guys and your old references and that kind of shit. But like a hamster calls the gorilla doctor at the restaurant where he's hanging out with a kangaroo who runs the bar and a monkey who can't get dates on Tinder. Yes. They're all old friends. It was just nice people conversation. But then the hamster nurse calls up. It's like, hey doc, there's a bunch of the drugs missing. What was it like? Was it sedatives or
no, psychotropic drugs?
Psychotropic drugs. Yeah. I couldn't think of what it was. Something that you could fucking sell, basically, is what I was thinking. And she has gotten into our boy's taxi by the end of the episode.
Yes, but then we see...
And it's like, well, who was on duty, doctor? And he's kind of thinking, it's like, fuck, she was on duty.
And we see the cop pass off the SD card to the criminal monkey. Where he gets an envelope.
In exchange for an envelope.
Yes, presumably full of cash. Or maybe not in this story. Maybe it might be something else.
I like, if it was... the way this is going, I don't think it's something entirely innocuous. It's a weird fucking show, man.
Well, you know what it is? It's a fucking like HBO prestige TV like crime drama. It just happens to be an anime with fucking animal characters.
Our main character is just a fucking walrus called Odokawa because it's an odd taxi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at one point though, he does when the hippo man is asking him about what made him decide to become a taxi driver. He has a thought back to presumably his youth when he was a human being.
Oh, that's the other thing. There's some band going on, like it's like their first show, and I think that's important because it kept showing their concert. or maybe it's just an idol. I don't know if she was an idol or was that a band. But the other part was there's and it opens up with him listening to the radio, and there's like these two comedians called the Homo sapiens is their name. Instead of an animal name, I guess is the joke. But they're fucking terrible, and they read a whole postcard like dissecting us how they're really bad. I was like, wait, if they're called the Homo sapiens, do they have humans in this world? What the fuck is going on?
Well, if the taxi driver is gone in the head, could he just be like he's seeing everybody in the world as animal people?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, could be.
But yeah, well, my fear of it being radio on the TV, it is definitely there, because it literally is radio on TV at one point with the guys on the radio. But there's enough other action and stuff going on. He's not in the taxi all the time. It's just clearly when they're in the taxi, they're going to film it in a very specific way to give you the sense of being in a taxi.
It's very much like shot from the front windscreen kind of thing, or the passenger seat, that kind of thing.
It did remind me a lot of the part 1 of Yakuza 5, because of all those taxi driving missions I did, particularly with the having to respond to the small talk with the passengers, and you're like given 3 different options, and you have to like pick the right one within a certain amount of time.
Like that's a thing with this guy, because your man's like, time up, come on, answer the question I asked you to start conversation, taxi driver. It's like, I like to think of 5 possible answers and think of which one is the least offensive to my patron. And it's just like he takes way too long to answer any questions as a conversational taxi driver guy.
Yeah, and it's OLM, so it's generally a good looking show. Even the CG taxis,
well, they're all like stylized cartoon.
They blend into the backgrounds nicely. I think because of the CG Doraemon movies, and so OLM are a little bit ahead of the pack in doing CG and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then we've got Zombieland Saga Revenge, Episode 1, Good Morning Returns Saga. In which, rather than putting the band back together, they've got to put the manager back together because he's had a mental breakdown due to booking a 30,000 person arena 1 month after the end of last episode.
I love that you can see the audience going like, "This was a terrible idea."
Yeah, kill the momentum, dead flat.
And
he was trying to move too quick. Get real jobs.
Yeah. I like the fact they're all like working in jobs in the community though, so they're still very much in Saga,
promoting a lot of the local agriculture and manufacturing and crafts.
I did enjoy that. Yeah.
But Kotaro has lost it. He's grown his hair out. He's talking to himself, drinking every night. So they've got to pull him back around.
And we need him back again because he is really one who knows how to do the makeup properly. So everyone at our jobs is asking, "Are you eating all right? You know, I can make you a lunch if you like. You're looking very pale, looking very hollow around the eyes there."
I mean, like, it looks better than their scars and their zombie wounds and all that kind of thing. But yeah, they do not look healthy. So they've put together a not like a comeback tour, they're going to try going at the heavy metal club where they started out.
Yeah, man, get back.
If you could make it there, you could make it anywhere.
Yeah, they were there for us at the start. You know, we can start off there again. So without Kotaro's inputs, we're going to try and get the routine down. We're going to play that song we didn't get to do at our last disastrous game. We're going to get that one out there. It's just like the spell that's got Ghost. We'll go get on down with it. But he's still not coming back.
Yeah, and there was a lot of fun stuff. Like did they break into his office to get the demo tape?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked his process. He's just like fucking talking shite. It's like da 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 da. Just into a tape for ages, and it's like he'll get to the song eventually, I guess.
But they're good songs, so we can't really fault his process.
It worked for him, so yeah.
Not that glamorous, I suppose.
I don't like it on Taxi. These girls knew what a cassette tape was, because that was a gag in ODDTAXI is that the alpaca did not know what a audio cassette was because she was too young. And he went off on a rant about it.
Yeah, he rants angrily and dryly a lot, and that's very appealing to me for some reason.
Well, it's definitely a show aimed at middle-aged people.
I guess.
I think we can agree on that.
But yeah, no, it was great to have the girls back and them all be in character, but like kind of on the back foot without the manager.
Yes. And he has to be convinced by basically being insulted by the mysterious bar owner.
Who may or may not be an alchemist.
Yes.
and it had like another like photo, maybe the same one actually of the statue of said alchemist somewhere in the world. If you said fun saying, what would they call it again? The Saga Arts. You got them to Saga Arts now to do their songs that they're fun saying. They're called Brand Shushu, goddammit. They need me.
Because anytime our main girl was kind of going to him, she was trying to talk him out of it. We got a gig. We need you to help us practice. We need you to do the makeup, that kind of thing. When the older girl who's got a job as a hostess, it's almost like she's really good at the job at a bar. She can't like talk him into it anywhere, but insulting him repeatedly seems to work. Hey. He showed up for them at the metal gig and started a riot. So that's great.
I did like Saki was like, just give me 10 seconds with these guys.
Just got wait in there. I've been killed by better people than this. But it was when they get down to it, it was a shame that they didn't get to play that song. It was fucking it was a pretty kick-ass song. And it was just like affirming their resolve as well, and affirming the resolve for the series going forward, presumably.
And even impressing the metalheads with it's like, hey, they're still performing despite we're having a riot. That's actually pretty ballsy. Yeah.
The two biggest fans are
they're well into the riot.
We sticking up for him as well, even though one's of a guy pretty weedy looking goth dude. He probably couldn't throw a punch without hurting his wrist, but he's getting in there.
Oh, he's an old mosh pit veteran by the look of him.
Yeah.
Was the policeman in this episode?
He was at the bar with your one, and he's like, "Oh, I'd like to arrest you, honey." He was just weirdo fucking guy.
But he's weirdly one of the main characters because he's in most episodes. I couldn't remember who was in this one. Right, that's Zombieland Saga Revenge. It was good. It was a nice reset everything back to where we were before.
And also, kind of like they still have to climb up the ladder a good bit, despite the success of the last season.
And
apparently there's a timer on that.
Yeah, they gotta get back on like local radio next week. So I got to go to a hall, begin roll again, And now I gotta contend with. So you really blew it there a few months back. What happened? It's like we're trying not to focus on that anymore. We want to move forward with our new project, with our new album. Oh, everyone wants to hear about all the drama behind the scenes.
Then we've got DYNAZENON episode 2. What's your reason for fighting? In which we got like a lot of. I was like flipping a lot of the character chemistry from the previous episode on its head almost.
That was really interesting. I did like the recap at the start from your man's point of view where the music is all muffled inside the cockpit. That was so fucking good. And he's like, oh shit, it's flying right at me while it's transforming. That must be terrifying.
Imagine now if one of the fucking DYNAZENON's got like one big bass system in the boot and it's just blasting that out whenever it appears.
Yes, that makes it better, honestly. Yeah.
So it does appear that actually plays in Dynarex form because it doesn't play when they're in the other forms during this episode.
Yeah.
Different music plays. So Galma wants them all to meet up and we're going to learn how to use our machines. Here, you have this toy, you have this toy, you have this toy. Oh, no toy for you, I'm afraid, she'd say. I like...
she's got her hands out and everything. It's like, wow, man.
That of her just holding her hands out and her looking villainous in the opening, I was like, oh, she's salty about this, for sure.
She's found one of the stones, which I neglected to mention last week. We saw a hand dropping a load of stones.
Oh, yeah.
Over the town.
There's so much else.
So that must have something to do with whatever's going on. I am absolutely still bewildered what on earth is going on. There's a few things where I was like, I feel like they're deliberately putting things in to make you think that it's not the same situation as Gridman, with like deliberately showing, oh, the trains actually go places, because obviously that was an issue in Gridman.
The trains go places. Everyone is like aware of the monsters and stuff, because like when the opening thing is in the school, it's like classes won't start till after lunch, and they're all like, "Ah, what the fuck? We already came in." And the reason they were going to start classes later is because transportation is kind of fucked from the giant monster fight. Like everyone's aware of this. It's a different situation, but I'm guessing not as locked into one place situation.
There are also 4 kill types wander around, the kaiju eugenicists, and they're who Gamma has fallen out with. They're kaiju users like Kim, and they're up to no good. He's got to stop them.
But yeah, the issue in this is that Yomogi can't get to these training sessions because he's got to work and earn that money, so he can live an independent life and not rely on his mum, his gran, and this mum's boyfriend who he doesn't like.
Like every time your man says to the girl who was kind of a flake in the first one, it's like, "Hey, great, you showed up. Where's our guy?" It's like, "He can't come," and he's like, "What? Fucking, that's bullshit."
That guy just gets so good about not keeping promises. He's fucking not turning up. What a fucker. I'm gonna go give him a piece of my mind and barge in him on the bath.
To his house and give him a piece of my mind. Hey, I've shown up naked in the bath. Hope that's cool. I don't care. And his mom invites him to dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your friend from school. It's like, no, this is a weirdo I met under the bridge. Don't let him hang around.
So polite.
Really?
He's so grateful for the food. A lot of great bits with him in this episode.
It is. I like their house as well. It feels a lot like a 80s or 90s tokusatsu family's house, i.e. we couldn't rent a very large building
studio
to use as this regular house. So we're going to cram loads of characters into a small room.
Cozy.
It is, but it's not soundstagey because I've been watching those obviously I don't not so much the Super Rio stuff, but obviously there's so much Toei stuff you can watch the first 2 episodes of now, and it did strike me as being quite 90s in that respect here. And so he meets up with Yomogi and they go for a little bit of a test flight and also to see what the damage is that happened from their previous fight and get some backstory about Yume and her sister who died in an accident on that flood barrier that she keeps, or floodgate rather, that she keeps on climbing up and being told to come down from.
Mm-hmm.
Like her kind of being like, "Oh yeah, I can use the jet thing now, Dyna Wing," and he's like, "Dyna Soldier."
Oh, he's just not into it at all.
Yeah, he's super like lackluster with it. It's really funny. But like again, the fact that there's destruction that they can go visit, and then kind of like, yeah, I have some trauma related to maybe something like this, and I was like, okay, so this is different than Gridman in that regard as well, which is interesting.
It's as well like like her, she's a bit tore up about her sister passing away, but like prior to that, they didn't really get on very well. They weren't on good terms at all. But now she's not sure. And it's kind of like, it's been just kind of seeing all this kind of disaster that's been just kind of unfolding here. She's kind of thinking, as you normally would, what was something I could have done that could have changed that outcome? We didn't get on, but I didn't want her to die, but it was something I could have done or said or not said to try and avert that. And I just kind of thinking, I can do something right now to stop giant monster fights destroying the city.
Because that's the thing, they're saying like this place got destroyed by us, but it's like, yeah, but it would have been more if we didn't intervene. The monster just would have been running rampant. So.
Yeah, and we also see that the monsters aren't running rampant until bad kaiju users get hold of them.
That monster was just sleeping under a bridge, and everyone was taking photos of it. It was just like, it's grand, leave it alone. It'll be fine. But they made that monster grow. And,
and I just want, it's maybe you can kind of design any monster you want, a cartoon, but it feels like here is a Gigan costume you had to recolor to be in a different Tokusatsu show.
I think the monster is off something else. I can't remember what the monster was off. It definitely does look like a Gigan, but the colors are very Gigatron off car robots.
Oh, right.
Very, very pinks and purples. Yeah.
Had I considered maybe it's for the Kaiju or Transformers as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's especially like the big pink purple wings is the giveaway, I think.
Yeah, these kaiju eugenicists seem like jerks. Yeah. And they have trouble fighting it because it keeps on disappearing. So they split up into 4, and then we get the greatest bit, which is three of them are really trained up, and they've trained up really quickly in their vehicles and know how to use everything out of them. Whereas Yomogi is just stuck standing still, swinging his arms around.
Come on, Yomogi, do something. It's like, I'm fucking trying.
It's easy.
It's so stiff, you know. It's just like how the action figure would move its arms as well.
Yeah, very poor. Like testing the articulation. I was like, okay.
Trying to control it with like a single stick 1980s joystick as well. But yeah, they crack on that it's the wings that it extends cause it to move super fast. So it does that just before it like disappears and appears somewhere else. So they realise, we'll just crush those wings. So they combine Dyna Soldier and Dyna Wing into, is it Dyna Wing Soldier or Dyna Soldier?
Dyna Wing Soldier.
Yeah.
Crush the wings, and then Galma's one, I can't remember what that one's.
Dyna Diver, which is very fun to say.
Yeah, because it's the boat one.
Launches many missiles and blows it up, annoying the kaiju eugenicists. And then they face off at the end, I think, don't they? They like confront them.
He kind of points them out standing on a... They're not standing on that same gate, are they? They're standing on something tall.
Good question. They might be. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I was just thinking the shape of the structure. But he's like, those are kaiju users like me. The kaiju eugenicist, which is such an ominous fucking name. They're all like in the same uniform, for lack of a better term, even though they're not in the same uniform. They're all wearing completely different things with the same color scheme. But I did like that as a look.
Yeah, it's just like the student council from Kill la Kill.
Very much so.
They have quasi-military aspect to it.
Yeah, they might all have epaulettes, and that might be the only consistent thing.
Yeah, that might be it.
There was so many like really great moments. I loved the way your one was like kind of crouched down playing with the joystick on the ground to fly the thing. I was just like, there was so many like very human moments like that. It was like a kid playing with a fucking controller on a video game kind of thing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's funny, it isn't like, you know, like a watch we can say this is my fancy smartwatch. No, you gotta walk around with the toy in your pocket. It's nice. And you gotta go vroom vroom and turn it into the big version. There's no dignified way to do it. It's great though. Some of the kind of CG dudes, like, you know, they weren't as good as I've seen them be. I remember need to get used to it again. There's mostly like the buildings, the background, see, like, no, he's like the kind of the same tall building, copy pasted across the wing. But that's because they were like putting time into the transformation sequence, which was just glorious exercise in excess. You know, it was putting the plane onto the dinosaur bit, but it's just so swoosh.
Interlocking bits you have to see. Yes. Yeah. I'm fine with them changing the CG of the monsters a little to actually give the background some depth. Like, you have buildings you can slam them on top of or knock over and that kind of thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was almost wondering when they were going to inspect the damage, whether they're going to like suddenly discover like the buildings were made of cardboard or something. But but no, it's not going good for that fourth wall breaking level yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
May do by the final episode, just like Gridman did. Righty-ho, then we've got next on the list is Back Arrow, episode 14. Is there love on the battlefield?
I don't know, Alakan.
I gotta believe there is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like one of the, I think my favorite thing. There's so many fun things in this, but I love the fact that your man's wearing several bind warpers, and they're just like popping off of him while he exerts himself.
And hold back his conviction.
Because initially, like, the Emperor's having trouble stabilizing. It's like, no, he's just breaking them as he goes. He's just too powerful.
That's because he's getting really into this fight with evil Fine. Who's going around wrecking shit. She will consume the energies of her own army to give herself more power. And the Emperor's really into this. It's just like, oh yeah, baby, hurt me more, hurt me good.
She does try the stepping on him, and it's like, lick my boots, old man. But it's like, yeah, he's also getting into it in a battle-y way, but maybe a horny way too.
She's got drill stilettos.
Yeah.
I did like it as well. I don't think, did they show it in the last episode? I just missed it. The way her Bright
I think it was clearer in this episode than it was in the previous.
Yeah. Really nice look to it. Just the spinning around head, and just because I could tell like the spread out hair was the coiffed hair of the other robot, but it's just nice to see it actually change shape.
Her scepter then it's a lovely love heart in the good version, but then it splits into as the broken heart with this vicious hook instead for gouging into people. Grr.
And he the reason he's got so much conviction is because he can absorb other people's conviction, and consumes Fide's Bryhart's leg, which then causes the evil Fide to go berserk and murder loads of her soldiers. And to drain
her version of love, instead of taking damage and spreading back healing, is I will take your love, as in your life,
servitude to me,
and eat it herself, and to repair her own thing. Yeah.
Love Salute is her. And Love Salute Noir is the evil version of her Bryhart.
The unfortunate thing is that all this has been broadcast to the capital, and they're watching their princess like murder the entire other army, being a complete dick about it, and murder her own army. So they're all like, "Hey, this is that's bullshit."
It's all going to Rudolph's plan, but then he switches it off because, hey, don't want to have them get too used to the horrors of war.
Well, also he does switch it off when she flips back to being regular.
Yeah,
so
that's when
they don't see her turn the battle around.
Is that
for great justice.
before or after they load up the? It's before, isn't it? Because then they get her back.
Before, yeah.
Because that's what
he's he's still watching it himself in his chambers.
Because that bit is the bit which upsets him a little bit when Shubei manages to get the thing working their way he wants to with the big old cannon. Bring back Arrow back. We're going to use his conviction part, non-conviction. What? Oh yeah. Anyway,
conviction negation.
Yes,
he's like Astar or something in Black Clover. You can just like negate conviction.
Sure. Yeah.
And they fire a massive cannon spray across the entire Wrecker army, destroying all but 3 of the Bryharts.
2 of them are combined, and one of them is the Emperor. So
yeah, one of them's flying. That's why it gets missed, isn't it? The 2 of them combined. But they have not accounted for the pride of the people of Wrecker, and they just carry on attacking regardless without their Bryharts.
They're attacking with like sharp sticks and rifles, and it's like, dudes, we're going to kill you. That's just how this will go.
Like we're not even doing anything big. We're just using just a little like mini little tiny guns you got in the shoulders of the robots. And when you see that in Gundam, and you see your robot get destroyed by that in Gundam, you know you're a punk. Oh, this isn't gonna go well, but they'll do it for the Emperor. I don't know. We love the battle. We have the conquest. We'll do it. Okay, we got a better idea. Everybody start hitting the princess. Everybody start laying into her. Turn that energy to healing energy.
And heal both armies, and also you'll pump the Emperor full of so much juice, he'll break.
Yes.
That he'll break his last Mind Warper, and he's like, fuck, you beat me, fair and square.
He's a little shaky because it feels like his conviction has broken rather than it at that point, which causes the last one to break.
Well, if his conviction is like, to kind of conquer and destroy and be the biggest fighting thing, when someone comes against you with like ultimate empathy, ultimate pacifism, and it's just like, I don't know how to fight that. I need you to fight back, otherwise it doesn't work. He needs to have that, otherwise can't get it up.
So they've basically made a kind of vague peace treaty where it's just like, okay, new deal, you guys don't attack us.
Specifically, he's made a peace treaty with Fide.
Yeah. Because they shake hands.
I suspect will not be the leader by the end of the next episode.
I'm not sure she's the leader by the end of this one. Because because they're happy to go back to the capital. She'll be fly back, but the Grand Edger needs a bit of a recharge. That was a crazy fucking thing, so they'll be a little slow to get back to the capital. But people are very pissed off.
Yes.
Oh no, they don't like to see us now, and they're like throwing fucking bricks at us. Good shit, fucking Princess led us into war, got all our poor boys killed for nothing.
So I
would say they're being idiots because it's like, the Emperor declared war on ye first, right? But it's like, yeah, that obviously what's been presented to them, they're only getting part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I assume this will lead to the heroic Rudolph we see in the opening credits. Taking control.
Just gotta re-suck it in and go out into Parliament. Hey, everybody!
Yeah, I noticed the shadow which is flitting around in the opening credits is the his sidekick. So I'm gonna guess that she's more than she's letting on.
Yeah.
That she's got her own thing going on.
Yeah. I wonder all the time as well that who else here that is seems to be behind the scenes knowing what's going on or got something else going on. How many of them could be from beyond the wall as well?
Yeah, it could be.
Always keep that in mind with any new character you meet or someone whose story you don't fully know yet.
Seems to
say they're not from beyond the wall and they just have a good deal of it here and they're just manipulating it because they got hidden knowledge of what it's actually like.
The other thing is it Ray is the big guy with the red hair? Kai.
I
don't know why I'm going Ray. Kai, like the other generals are like, but Emperor, we can still fight, and Kai's kind of like, Emperor fucking said stand down, we all stand down. So he he seems to have gotten more loyal as this fucking fight has continued. Yeah,
but it's still in the back of your mind. You know he wants to overthrow the Emperor.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, he's doing all the right things, like giant roboting and crushing his own fucking bind warper. Yeah, and
I'm also like, what was the guy who replaced Shumei been up to back at the capital while they've all been doing this? That's the other thing.
Yeah. Other interestingly bearded man. Yeah.
Yes.
When maybe he's been on the red front of Rudolph, and they're both going to make a play while the rulers are out. Getting their asses handed to him.
I mean, that's what Rudolph was doing while the princess was away, for sure. Yeah.
Who said you could when we're doing with the other guy?
Let me show your emperor surrendering, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sweet robot action. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if Rudolph's just going to walk into Wrecker on his own without an army, as to demonstrate okay, I'm not going to put any of the people of Luto at risk. I'm going to do it all myself on my own.
Yeah, make him out to be a great guy. Yeah.
Given how powerful he's been hinted at being as well.
Yeah.
And also because the opening credits is teasing us with the fight between the Emperor and him.
Oh man, it's going to be a first class. Have you got into the robots yet? I would really hope that Emperor gets into his robot and then Rudolph goes, okay, time to get big. We see him in a big square again. That's how things work. Oh,
then we've got Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai, episode 27, Land Rider LARHART. So a quick recap of what happened last episode, and then we're off to the races. As Pop kills Galdandy.
Nah, that was satisfying. It was good on your uncle as well. No, fucking kill my fellow disciple. He's got this. And
I'm going to shoot him in the fucking wing. I'm going to wing him. Just because that guy fucking really cheaped you out.
Yeah, fucking stamina drains, we've fun debuffs. No, that's not on. No, that's not how we do it around here. And it's just go down on fun thing to let Pop get the shot in. Because Pop is well able to do it. He knows how to put a donk on things now. He's a grand sorcerer. He's more MP.
Which shocks the other Dragon Masters. What's the walrus man called?
Barrowhorn.
He starts going off, so he gets his tusks chopped off by
yeah,
mid-speech.
I would say it's a good thing we had a different Walrus Man in this week, but for all we know, he's fucking evil as well. So I guess we have to find out.
So then they get into it, and Hyunko kills Baron. Not Baron. Baron's the boss, isn't it? It's
Barahorn.
Yeah.
Barahorn, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, because he tries to freeze him. He thinks, I'll hook him with my hook, which is a anchor, yes. And then I'll use my frost breath. That will freeze him in place, and I'll smash him. And then
That's my killer combo that no one has ever beaten.
Well, got bad news for you, because
that's his cheap ass.
He's got magic proof armor, dude.
Yeah. You should have been paying more attention to the names of the generals in your army. And then he gets into it with LARHART, and that's the rest of the episode. About half the episode is them fighting and Hyunko struggling because this guy, he's fast.
He's also got a Saint Seiya thing, but it's a spear this time.
Yes, I assume he's not making it because I see Hyunko wandering around with a spear in the opening credits or the end credits. I can't remember which one it is. So I was like,
yeah, I guess lose a helmet, get a spear. It's an upgrade.
Also, this guy's not as big a jerk as the other two, so he appears to be a more honourable fighter.
Like, yeah, he's just chopping Hyunko's helmet in two without injuring him, just to show that he fucking can. And it's like, I'm just gonna take away your armor. Check it out. My thing turns into armor too. Now I'll fight you fair and square.
He tries to pull the old tactic of, I'll just like let him stick me, and then he won't be able to move, and then that's what I'll get him. But I think LARHART has read this comic before. He's seen the TV show before, and he says, "Aha! I actually knew you would do that. I was going to jump up."
Yeah. And the other thing, I guess, the only other thing that's happening is Daddy's coming home, and son is like, "Hey, someone's coming, and I know who they are." And everyone's like, "Oh fuck! Oh shit!" Which is good fun.
It is, yeah. I noticed in the opening credits that those chess pieces weren't just for show a few episodes ago.
They're all dudes.
They're going to turn into a bunch of dudes at some point.
I mean, like it's hilarious how many fucking Dark Generals got taken out like nearly immediately. And it's just like, he has some guys who are just as tough as the Dark Generals. All of my chess pieces are also just as tough as the generals.
Oh, of course. But if I'm tearing through these guys, you gotta get in more Ginyu forces to stop them.
I do think though that it is a pretty much a masterclass for writing this sort of villain. This series is.
Yeah.
Both for anime and for tokusatsu stuff. It's
just like fucking It's been so long since I've seen him now. I've forgotten him. The first, he was the Demon Lord, and he's Vice Demon Lords, even bigger guys. We'll be tangling with him all through the whole series now. I'll get you next time, die, as you get to ride over and over again. We've slowly seen, actually, no, we're downsizing you. We're bringing in some new talent here. He's said, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. You fucking go back to the post office or something. I don't know. Go with the warehouse, move some boxes. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, poor old Hadlar.
Hadlar, that's him.
Yeah, you got to feel a little bad for him.
Yeah, which is why I say that's why it's so good. It's because you've got a little bit of sympathy. I think it's because it's basically preparing children for working in an office.
And all the inter-office fucking drama and sniping. Yeah, I could see what you mean.
Yeah, your boss comes in and does it, and you haven't got the reports in on Monday like you said you would. So he does a bloody scribe and shoots you to the shoulder. We've all been there.
Yeah, there's the what Gogan the guy claims is the idea behind Baron Ashura. Whether that was at the time is having one face to present to the boss and one face to present to the underlings. Next up, we've got My Hero Academia, episode 91, Clash, Class A versus Class B, which I did watch even though I wasn't going to plan because I was like, it's Saturday. It's actually quite easy to watch because the pile-up occurs on the Sunday.
Yeah, fucking all backs into each other, it seems.
Yeah, which we get to set up for the next bit of educational arc.
Yeah,
fact,
I looked at it quickly. It was just the first half. It was just like, Midoriya, please recap the previous episode to me in great detail.
And the bit we cut out for time of, yeah, the guy with the belly button complaining about the noise he was making.
Oh yeah.
And then here's all the characters from Class A. Here's all the characters from Class B. These are the teams they're splitting up in to go against each other. Here's the great bit with Tetsu and what's Red Riot
and Kirishima.
Kirishima behaving exactly the same, which is one of my favourite bits in the entire
story. It's such a good continuing fucking joke. It's why I'm always delighted to see Tetsu. He's great.
We get to see everybody's new costumes, and then here's Shinso. He's also joining because he wants to transfer from normal class to hero class. We get a little bit more of his backstory. In a little bit of a flashback.
how it wouldn't actually be cheap, that he's going to be on Class A or Class A in one thing and Class B in another one. It's like, well, doesn't that mean it's 5 versus 4? It's like, yeah, but he's less battle experience and you just have to capture like 4 guys, so he's an extra point on the board to capture. So yeah.
Eros is also making Deku's pleased to see him. He's also thinking about, the first time I saw all those people who I chatted with last episode was when I was fighting him in the sports day.
Because he could mind control you, but you got a couple of other minds on board. So yeah.
So it's like, was that anything to do with it? I don't know if that has ever come back again. So we get nice little shots of like the team lineups.
I did pause it each time again. Yeah. It was nice to kind of like page spread in the comic. It was like, but I forgot to put that little combination. That's really interesting. Yes.
Yeah. You're getting the fun combos and getting to see some more of the Class B weird powers.
And then we're straight into the first team. Let me find the screenshot so I can keep track of who they are.
Sue, Kirishima, Lightning, he does the Kaminari.
And
Shinso's there. And did somebody else?
Yeah, the guy who talks to animals.
Animal voice.
Yeah, because he's like basically scouting where they're at. Yeah, you're right.
And then on the other team, it's the girl with the plant hair.
Jesus girl, yeah.
The guy who's basically a Yeti.
The Beast, yeah.
I can't remember what the other two do. It's the one who's dressed up like a hopping vampire.
Does the hopping? I don't know what the fuck that guy does. And the other guy makes like cubes out of air. I don't quite understand how that works.
But solidify the air, I think.
Yeah.
Or something.
So that's what he's upgraded his power to, and he takes out our talking to animal boy by putting him in an airtight box where he can't talk through. Yeah.
But Shinso's fiddling around with it. That's one.
I would like to see the physical of this, yeah.
And then, like, the solid air man goes, all right, let's get him, Sasquatch. You bet it. Let's go get him. Wait a minute, I didn't say that. But who said that? Oh, that's not a mask. It's a voice changer.
Yeah. That's I like the physicality of that mask. It's a really nice addition to him as a character.
Yeah. And the other he's going to be on Class B's side during the 5th match, which is the deck
against Midoriya.
Yeah. So, that's an aspect I completely forgot about. Somehow going into this, because even though he's like a character who I really liked, I really liked seeing how he got on this arc. I thought this will probably be much interesting to watch. Now you actually have spoken voices, because his whole thing is like he's changing voices, trying to bamboozle people. This would be a lot more interesting to look at when you can actually hear it. So now I'm thinking, I must at least I make time to look in on the fights that he is in, so you can see how that's employed in motion.
There's a little bit with God, I forgot everyone's real names. Uravity, pondering about the new costume that Deku got and who he got it from. Her rival in love, even though she's like, I'm not really. I've put all that aside to be a hero.
Yeah, but you're keeping it on mind at all times, so not doing a great job of it. Yeah.
But then I'm also watching this thinking there's loads of plot elements here that they have done nothing with for months in the comic.
Yeah.
Well, we have to get it back to Deku sometime, even though Shinso is here and it's going to be a thing with him and how he's going to be accepted. He's going to find a way to make his power work for good and be a hero. It's still tied back to, that thing we fought Deku. Deku's really want to fight him again. Deku. It's like, let this dude have his moment to himself, please.
Yeah.
It's there's one. I think there's one team. Is it the second team? Is that the only one without? Well, I guess this team there's nobody important, and then the second team there's nobody important. But then it's like 3, 4, and 5. They've conveniently split all the 3 main boys up into different teams, so they'll all get their little beats.
Yeah.
Oh well, it can't be perfect, but like I say, that's part of the enjoyment of watching it is its flaws as much as the things it does right.
And one of the things about this part of the arc is it's interesting combinations and guys who you haven't seen.
Yes.
How do you square against that? Yeah,
and it's fun use of powers as well, rather than just using them to bludgeon a bad guy. Then, I can put my feet up again. It's Thunderbolt Fantasy Sword Seekers 3, Episode 2, Sorcerous Sojourn.
Okay, I think we can get quickly through this because basically the show, at least for now, is sliders, is what I understand it. Because, the end of the fight of the last one, one of those mirror leaf gourds, I have no idea what the fuck they're supposed to be, magic mirror plants, was activating and our boy sees it and he goes like, oh, cool. He grabs another leaf and it's like, okay, everyone grab this guy. And they're like, oh, okay. And they travel to another world. And he explains, it's like, yeah, you can travel to different worlds and shit with these leaves. And I brought one with us, so it should activate at some point. And we can just, as long as we're all touching it then, and all touching the same guy who's touching it, then we can travel to a different world. But it'll, 50% chance it'll bring us back to exactly where the fuck we left off.
Yeah, well, we're leaping somewhere new, and I guess just got to do what we can and wait around for the right moment. And maybe next time, the next leap would be the next leap home.
Yeah, he even splits the gourd thing in half, so we got double the chances of it fucking activating, which is some logic. And they've ended up in a harsh desert world or something with really low oxygen, maybe it's on top of a mountain, and they're fighting some red-faced dudes who have gas and flamethrower sticks, and I don't fucking know, but I always wanted to see a puppet shoot flames from a flamethrower, and I didn't know it up to this point.
There's some great stunts in there because she was like, "No, I know they've got we have duplicates of any of the puppets that they made that they use, but still, it's very take a lot of time and money to make." And it was like, let's just get the fire effect up on this. That'll be fine.
Yeah,
give him the asbestos costume. We'll be okay.
The asbestos puppets. It was that was pretty sweet. I mean, the fighting at the start of this episode was the fight from the end of the last episode, and there was some good I guess limb chopping offs. How about that at the start of this? But I was really here for the flamethrowers. That was great.
Was good. I saw someone pointing out there as well that this being sort of very kung fu or wuxia inspired after attention given to the footwork. That's as well just because the puppets and they're kind of like that, so you got to show some shots of the feet so you remember that they have legs and you can see what they're doing. But it's also important as well because the footwork, it's reflective of what kind of fighting style they have. And we're saying that Kuan Yu, who used to use a spear in the first series, but then he got hitched and now he's kind of learned the sword, so his wife uses, just because he wants to support up like
if you want to do the family style of the sword style, you have to stop using a spear. Yeah.
But his footwork is all mismatched. He's not used to using a sword as well, and the footwork is more like what a spear user would have. And that's why he's all discombobulated. But as well, the puppets, I guess, it's some good kind of tricks in there. Getting that whip going, actually pretty good as well. It seems like a practical effect. It might just be very well disguised one, but it seems like it's really lashing that thing around.
There's a real weight to its movement. Yeah. Excellent stuff.
Aki Otsuke isn't really pleased with what's going on here. It's just what the fuck? What happened there, lads? If I would say, and like like, oh, well, I didn't know they were going to have somebody who knew how to use the magic mirror flowers. Why we do now? Well, we don't fucking know where they are. But
listen, no point arguing amongst ourselves. Yeah.
Anywhere that they go will appear in these mirrors. If each of lads has watched these mirrors really closely, and we'll see if they turn up.
So it's mostly just them wandering around looking at mirrors every time it cuts back to them, which is like super boring. But then your man kind of sees like one of the mirrors and it's like, wait a minute, that's the fucking demon realm. She's trying to get to the demon realm. I'm going to pull out my giant sword and walk up behind her and fucking kill her.
Pull out this massive claymore. It's fucking like a fucking chainsaw stolen from Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
This would be the stealthiest kill I've ever done.
But then the Mantis guy goes like, oh, fuck it, I see him. And he's like, oh, fuck, put it away. It's like, there they are. They're going over there next. And they're like, haha, now we'll know where they're going next. And where they go next is they've accidentally went into the middle of some temple or something. The guards are like, who the fuck are you? Are you a thief or something? You don't look like a thief. You look like a dipshit. To our young eye-patched guy. But fortunately, another guard comes in and he's like, hey, there was another intruder. And they're like, oh, yeah, where was he? Well, he knocked out the guard and stole his clothes. Ha, it was me, the master of disguise.
Lynn said, because I tried him. He can't disguise the fucking... the fucking Weasley voice he has. It's always there.
The other thing I liked is, again, just enjoying the puppetry. The way he moved, I was like, that's Zetsu. Straight away, I was just like, he had the graceful puppet movements. I was just like, that. But yeah.
Okay. Rare freeze from Dwayne there for a moment. They're back now.
Oh, sorry.
It's some kind of Imperial Palace job anyway. It's like, what's going on there? We walk up on separate. Where's Ling and Lang? What's going on there? And Ling and Lang is inside somewhere interior in the thing. We see this like portrait or tapestry on the wall. It's clearly him.
And he's like, oh fuck, I know where we are. I'm in trouble.
And there's a princess or like a very glamorous noblewoman going by, like a fun saying, who goes there? And they're going, oh no. And she's all over him in the next episode previews. It's like, oh, you probably get like the missing son of the Imperial family.
He's probably supposed to get married or it's his sister or something like that. But yeah, I'm enjoying the fact that it's become Sliders for no fucking good reason. Yeah, good stuff.
And they're sword seekers. They gotta seek the swords wherever they may be. Oh, as well, the monk, the wolf.
Yes.
He has, of course, survived. He survived his apparent demise in the end of the previous series, and
he has ended up like in he meets a guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, who are you?" And he's like, "Well, you is fine because there's only two of us here. We don't have to use names here." I tried to go into hell to learn how to make really cool weapons, but they kicked me out. Now I ended up here in a place between worlds, so obviously there's a way to get here, which is good to know. Also, I'm researching weapons. You want to help me out? I'll give you a robot arm.
Maybe.
And I was just like, because he does have a clear puppet claw thing as well, which is great.
Available in shops this Christmas.
Oh man, yeah. No, this show's great crack. Just
it is
puppety fun.
It is fun, great. That's kind of fun. I think it's at its best when it gets away from some of the more highfalutin discussions, just like the nature of evil. If I'm saying. You're saying a lot, but you're also saying fuck all, really. Let's get back to the stunts. Get the flamethrower puppets out.
That's what we want to see.
Let's spit up blood, the massive gout. I want more of that.
We didn't get much blood besides all the arms and legs getting chopped off in this episode, but the guy who, one of the guys who attacked him with flamethrowers, shot poisonous gas at him, and your man just doing his batang on the, I kept calling it a fucking biwa. I think it's a peepaw. Is like the it was it was the Chinese instrument that was introduced to Japan. It doesn't matter. And he used that to put the gas back on your man, and then he's gurgling at the mouth. They're just pumping liquid through the puppet, and I was just like, that looks fucking great. I love that.
Put some Mentos and Diet Coke down that puppet. Set it off. Practical effects. They're great.
Right, we've got, I've got on my own, some. It's Zenkaiger, episode 6, number 6 Kai, Unpleasant and Mysterious Garbage Handling, in which one of our generals, it is Mobile Commander Barishitara this time. He has sent garbage world to Earth to overthrow it by covering it in garbage.
That's an oxymoron.
Great King Boko Wells is like, I don't want to rule a planet you've covered in garbage. And they're like, oh, don't worry. Ijirude, the mechanical officer, the inventor, he can invent something to get rid of all the garbage once we've taken it over. He's working on something, but what is it? We don't find out in this episode. He's up to something on his own. And so he's the guy who supposedly our hero's parents had visited, according to the records that Vroom had seen. Meanwhile, more pressing problems back on Earth. Gran wants them to do something about Majin because they're all sharing. So the Gran and Majin are sharing a room because they're the ladies. And Kaito and the 3 robot lads are sharing the other room. And Majin, because she's the teenager of the group, has turned Gran's room into an absolute pigsty. Can you please do something? Where's Vroom? He can sort this out. He's a janitor. He's an expert in this. But he's off down the library getting books out again because he loves to learn about Earth. And then he runs into Trash World, and eventually 3 of them get turned into garbage. They become the world's first garbage heroes, to which Sechan the parrot is like, hang on a second, let me check that, and goes on the internet to look up whether they are the world's first trash heroes. They defeat the robot. Hurrah! The important thing which happens in this episode, though, is it introduces a new character, and that character is Stacy, who is this mysterious guy dressed like he's gone LARPing and has wandered out of the LARP into the real world, and seems to get annoyed at our heroes and then disappears. And then right at the end of the episode, he's climbing up the platform where the enemy generals generally meet to plot, and introduces himself. Don't you recognise your own son, Barashitara? So Stacy is a human. His dad apparently is a robot. Next episode, Stacy will transform into Stay Caesar, who is
that's good.
Is a evil version of our heroes, or specifically an evil version of Zenkaiger. So this is where the meta stuff comes in. Stay Caesar's helmet is based on Battle Japan from Battle Fever J, which is currently the 3rd Super Sentai series, but used to be the 1st Super Sentai series until they retroactively made JAKQ and Gorenga the 1st and 2nd. Now, Zenkaiger, his outfit, his helmet specifically, is based on the helmets from Gorenga. And in the next episode, what appears Stay Caesar's gimmick seems to be is that he can summon. So Gorenga, Zenkaiger and the Zenkaigers, they can summon the Sentai themselves, or not summon them, but use their powers. What Stay Caesar can do is he can summon the giant robots and make them fight Zenkaiger. So there appears to be some weird meta thing of a representative of what used to be the first Super Sentai and the first one which has the giant robots in. There weren't giant robots in the previous 2, and it's the Battle Fever J that's the one Marvel co-developed with them as well. Is the first one to have the giant robots. So yeah, that's the meta for the old heads. I'm sure the kids won't give 2 hoots, and maybe this is the point at which the kids will tune out when it suddenly becomes heavily reliant on the old Super Sentai mythos for its gimmick. But
well, if you can just summon like crazy robots, then that would presumably be entertaining enough. Yeah.
Yes, I think in some cases they have to ask their grans, which may be why there's a gran in the series as well.
Granny and the giant robot.
But I'm sure Sechan, the mechanical parrot, will explain everything to us. He'll go berserk, shake his head around, and go, "Why are those robots here? They're supposed to be on the good guy's side. Why are they attacking us?" But yeah, next week seems to have a massive amount of robots showing up in the city.
Nice,
cool.
Then tell me, Niall, all about Tropical-Rouge Precure, episode 7. Here it comes. Kururun the Sea Fairy.
To find a seal on the beach. But it's not a seal, it's a sea fairy because it's got hearts for ears. It's all wrong. It's been sent from the Sea Kingdom. It's got something for Laura. What does it want, Laura? You speak seal, don't you? Yes. Says I'm super cool and cute. And seal shaking its head. No. So it's just kind of reinforcing like Laura's a mascot character. She's like, her contact with the fantasy realm is completely useless and shit. So it's up to Minori. She's the book smart one here. Via power of deduction things. Okay, we don't know what the seal is saying, but it's always come here. It's been sent because if it's the servant of the Sea Queen, it's got something for you. It's important. It's probably got lost on the beach somewhere. If you go down to the beach, we'll find it. And they all sort of up and down the beach, and it's just like, oh, when Minori comes through again, thinking, oh, well, someone might have seen that lying on the beach, and if they were a kind person, they probably would have hung it somewhere, like on a tree this year where I was searching, so that somebody might come back and they've lost their bag or something, they'll be able to find it more easily. I was like, oh, that's good deduction there. What could it be? Something important, I bet. It could be even that the mid-season power. I bet the mid-season power. Oh yeah, already? Yeah, I know mid-season power. It could be something to do with. I can't imagine what it could be. It would be our final attack. It's like a big cannon. We're just gonna wheel out a big cartoon cannon, like from a cartoon circus. They're gonna blast the bad guys at that. Yep, that'd be pretty cool. Interrupted though by Eld, who's the latest minion dispatched from the Witch of Procrastination. She's like a little kind of lobster girl maid, and she's just like a literal child, just playing with her toys. Now the adults, the butler, coming by saying, "Oh, we need you to go to the surface and do the bidding of the Witch of Procrastination and find this thing the Precures want." And she's like, "It's fucked up. That's child labor, man. Are you adults just lying around doing nothing? I gotta pull away for all of you. Oh well, if the Witch of Procrastination demands it, you must do it." It's like, oh, okay. We'll give you a reward. Oh, okay, I'll go and get it. Yay! So it makes like a big, not a hermit crab. That's not like a seashell, and they got to deal with that. And Laura's got to deal with Eld, who's just brass. If you don't let me win, if you don't let my monster destroy all of you, I'm gonna throw a big tantrum. So maybe Laura's thinking, I might be a brat, but I'm not as big a brat as that. I'm saying I want to be like Queen to see one of these days. I should kind of act like it sometimes. Sort of see her off in fine fashion. And like, all right, well, better let our little seal friend go. You want to stay here with us inside the bottle? Also, the bottle is basically like a camera. Like put the selfies on this. Yay, selfies! We're all best friends. And also, you can come out as a little bubble. You can kind of blow it off, like whoof, and it might find its way across the sea somewhere, including the lovely picture of Laura with her new friends, which finds its way to the Sea Queen and her Undersea Kingdom, Queendom even. So she's going to be getting on all right after all. Like Laura just seems to be the character animators want to have fun with the most. She gets all the best faces, gets all the best reactions to things. There's such a little brat, such a little shit. It's just kind of fun to see her get noticed about herself. And then occasionally be a decent individual. She's more or less decent, but it's really just self-centered, and it's just like fun to have somebody so not completely wholesome in the Precure group. So it's like someone who's just like out for themselves for the most part, but they'll come good at the end. They got a heart of gold, or a heart of, I don't know, bronze at least. It's something. What's he just dropped in here?
I just dropped. Once I looked up Kururun's design, I was like, this piece of fan art had to exist.
Their news, yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley, come back. All is forgiven. Yeah. What happens this week? I forget, but it'll probably involve some antics involving. Oh yeah, they're making lunch.
Okay.
Because see, everybody's lunch is like, because part of being the tropical club of little problem solvers, it's got to eat right. So let's see what everybody's making for lunch. Probably some horrendous creations to come.
There's also artwork of the seal eating the penguin from the previous.
Yeah, I guess that would happen. Oof.
Sorry, the circle of life, some Precure mascots must die, others may live.
Then we've got Sunday night block. It's Moriarty the Patriot, episode 13, A Scandal in the British Empire, Act 2, in which the series begins to tip into League of Extraordinary Gentlemen fare as we uncover.
I did have to worry. Like I was like, am I watching the right episode? I had to double check. I was like, yeah, I'm watching the right episode because I was worried. I was like, this seems like a completely different plot. And it was supposed to throw me.
The
so
secret document is the British secret plan for instigating the French Revolution.
What would happen if the people deposed the monarchy in a violent and bloody affair? Let's find that.
So obviously that would benefit them for having one of their nearest rival countries completely fucking upended. Be a good way to grab some power and shit like that. And also it's like, let's test on a different country what would happen if you destroyed the monarchy. And I guess Moriarty and Dads are like, yes, what would happen if you did that?
We've got to get our hands on those plans.
I assume this plan only works on France, though. It seems like it's a catch-all for all monarchies. It's like, no, it works for every monarchy.
Yes. Just change the names around and it works all the same way because all monarchies are equally shit everywhere you go.
Yeah, I think
the king. No, cross that out. The king. Now it works. There we go. Perfect.
I think that is the premise: is that you apply this tactic on any monarchy and they could be overthrown.
It is kind of fucking amazing. All right, as a plot, loving it.
I love this episode dropped in the weekend that it was.
It seems like a good idea. Yeah.
You should have closed on the BBC website from DMX. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Step 1 of the plan: overload all media until people get sick of the monarchy.
Yes. Good.
Before we get to that, though, we have a murder mystery party going on, organised by Albert Moriarty.
Apparently, back in the day, people used to love playing. What's the werewolf game? Is it just werewolf?
Werewolf or Mafia.
Werewolf, just variants.
Yeah. There's a few variants. Is probably what's confusing me. So it's a mask party. No one tell each other the things. One person is the murderer and will reveal who they kill over the course of the night, and it's your job to find them.
Yes, and is it benefiting the university where William works? Yeah.
So it's like anyone who gets killed by the murderer has to donate the most expensive thing they have on them to fund the university. Yeah. And his date's like, oh, that's a really cool idea. It's like, yes, this will go very well, yes. I think.
So he deliberately annoys the guy who is the designated murderer so that he'll be murdered first, so that he can go up to alone.
Because everyone's making like talk about the mysterious man who controls 50% of crime.
Yes.
And he's like, I think he's like a modern day Robin Hood. Actually,
yes,
and he's like, "Fuck you!" Fucking saying that the lords deserved what was coming. I'm gonna fucking murder you first.
Well, it's because he's doing that, so he'll get out first, and then Irene will also claim that she's been knocked out in disguise as almost exactly the same face that Albert's got, just different coloured eyes.
That's how good she is at disguise, man.
Yeah.
So what was slipped into her bosom the last day was actually an invite to this party, it seems.
And then she wants to hand off the document without getting killed and hopes that he'd be able to do it. And he's like, no, I've been told by the government to find you and liquidate you. However, I'm not here on behalf of the government. I'm here on behalf of myself because I am James Moriarty, the Lord of Crime, because he
doesn't even say that. It's like, let me prove to you how important I am. All right, see that guy who's the murderer down there? Oh, they found him. Well done, everyone. Oh, look, he's dying. He's dead. They're still having a party.
Don't feel too bad, Dove. He runs a lot of like theaters and opera houses, and he burned one of them down for the insurance money, but the theater goer still inside it.
Yeah, and you knew people who like fucking died in that opera fire. So fuck that guy. This is things I can do as the Lord of Crime. You're working for me now.
Get us that document, and we'll protect you. There was a little establishing thing at the start of the episode where it was establishing that, I can't remember if they've done it before, where there's basically saying all three of us are James Moriarty, the fictional Lord of Crime that we've created.
I feel like they've said as much before. Yeah, where they all have different parts to play. Like one of them's clearly like the smart plan guy, but other than that, they all serve different functions.
Yeah, so she goes.
Maybe if you need like Albert to be the face of the operation, and Lewis is like the fixer, he'll get things together for you.
So she has to go back to 221B to go and get the documents, and as she gets there, a bomb goes off. And, oh no, someone was here to find her. They've almost killed Holmes and Watson.
They're like, get out of here, Irene, while you still can. She's like, oh, I better get the document, get the fuck out of here. And he comes downstairs, like, haha, I knew blowing up the second story would fucking get you to reveal where you'd hidden them in that drawer downstairs.
Even Miss Hudson played a part of perfection. What cross did he fucking blew up the room into that shit?
I'm surprised the police haven't been called. Like, they have a lot of time to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But maybe they're just used to this with Holmes. Maybe they just give a wide fucking berth to Baker Street.
Oh, fuck it. What's attacked by cultists again? I'll send a guy down in a couple of hours, I suppose.
When it's all cleared up, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd figured out everything except for the fact that she was the prince in the first place. But he's still going to give her the document after he's had a good old look at it. Because she's like, don't look at it, I'll try and kill you as well.
And he's like, fucking, I spent ages. I blew up my fucking apartment to get this. I'm going to fucking definitely look at it. And she explains her thing. I was like, yeah, I stole it just to get some dirt in him. But I'll out of it. Because she's not actually a shit. She was actually trying to set up a bunch of funds to get people of lower class into the arts a lot of the time. Yeah. But get them an education and everything. He's like, oh, that explains my profile of you. Okay, now I have a full idea of it. And it's like, I'd love to keep this, but fuck it, I got to give it back to you because otherwise you'll be killed.
Because now, fucking, it's nothing to do with that. She's the only possible conclusion I can draw from this turn of events is that she's dealing directly with the Lord of Crime. So,
because if she was dealing with the government, my brother, he wouldn't make a deal with her. So she must be dealing with the Lord of Crime. Bum.
And that means that the Lord of Crime is somehow involved in the highest echelons of the British government. He's got much more of a hold on things than I realised.
Dang.
Yes. Yep. He's always tantalised by the truth. He needs to find the truth. The truth. Even if it means blowing up his own flat. Or at least blowing out the windows and possibly
or letting a plan to topple a monarchy go out of his hands.
Yes. Well, yes, he's found that truth out. Now he needs to find the other truths out.
I really enjoyed this that masquerade party bit because actually for Albert to sort of play the sinister role as well. He's usually always like the very effete, very gentlemanly, very proper dude. No, you just need him to arrange the meetings and connections, but let him boff and play the villain for a little while. It was kind of nice.
They also did remind you that it's just like, no, he did make a pact to do this. Like, here's a shot of him stabbing his brother. It's just like, no, he's in this pretty fucking deep. I slightly worry that he's not in the last shot of the Moriarty group at the end. I was like, does he go more government on them? I guess we'll have to see.
No, he seems in a sense like he's a bit zealous about the whole thing. He's like William Moriarty anyway, as like dude is going to fucking change the country, change the world. Even he's like a real devout believer to the cause, and I wonder if that might make him cause him to do something reckless.
We shall see. Yeah, like I said, I know a bit of where it goes. I'm not sure whether it goes here in this arc yet, though. Righty-ho. Then we've got much lighter fare. A Dragon Goes House Hunting, Episode 2. A Home with Falls. And I guess a home with ghosts as well. Oh, well, not ghosts. There are some ghosts.
They're white, so yeah, they're
whites is corpses. The main issue. Yes. But first of all, yes, a couple of homes. The first one is a classic dungeon, the Temple of Falls. It's a total Gary Gygax dungeon.
I love the thing of like, it was actually only made 27 years ago, so it's relatively new, but it's made to look really old.
It's on a faux ancient temple style to keep it sort of more in keeping with local buildings in the community. You see it's very spacious environment, plenty of pitfall traps to keep out unwary adventurers.
Yes, I like the dragon has the dream of like, oh, I want to live in a cottage, and he's like, no, you can live in a temple. And the dragon's like, this is too big, and he's like, you're a dragon. The doors need to be big enough for you to fit in. But all those pitfalls are great for nosy adventurers and
heroes. Yes.
Sorry, heroes.
Monster hunters, he's generally okay with because they're doing it for food. But just got heroes are bloodthirsty killing machines. They rob, murder, and pillage, and even assist with political coups. There isn't enough time in the day to detail every last one of their crimes. And I was like,
that was very funny. With the puzzle with the rock is like, oh, if you see here on this door, there's a certain shape that you need to put into the door, and the dragon's like, yeah, I got this, and there's like, that's a pitfall trap, and it's just like some of the puzzles are traps, and I was like, oh, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, you got extinguish the torches in the correct order here. Why? Otherwise, I'm not going doing that again. And like Letty, he's this fucking nerdy dweeb of a dragon. But he still finds little moments for like, oh, I'm going to assert myself here. I'm not going to listen to what he says. And then pitfall trap again.
Yes. Well, that was a real puzzle you need to complete to open the next door. That's another pitfall trap, and the temple's described as like an antlion pit. You just keep falling further and further into until you hit the bottom of the dungeon. But there is a healing pool there, and it's just our dragon's like, oh, that's brilliant. I can fucking heal up from all the falling damage I just fucking took, and it's like it will flush you down the drain though.
What's the notorious Gary Gygax dungeon?
Tomb of Horror.
Tomb of Horrors. That's it. Yes. Yeah, because it is very, it's very much like this is a trap. This is everything.
Bullshit dungeon.
Yeah. It's good crack. He's like, well, I'll show you back to the top of it, and you can tell me what you think. Like, I'd recommend taking this place now. It's pretty great. And he's like, okay, so I'm just gonna climb back up because I don't want to go back up through all the fucking maze of traps, all the walkways you can see, like Sen's Fortress or something like that. And he's like, yes, it would be undignified to fly up. And he's like, yes, that's why I'm climbing up the wall. There are some adventurers currently lost in the fucking temple. And they're like, oh shit, a dragon, get it. But our elf guy isn't going to let them happen that. And they get horribly murdered off screen.
Okay, I'm in the middle of a viewing. This is not an open house. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Yeah.
And the second one is a haunted mansion because he wants a place where no one will come, but you won't feel lonely.
Oh, this place is very lively, and the guests are the life of the party. And it was like, it's fucking haunted, isn't it? I was like, he was saying all these things. I was just like, yeah, it's ghosts.
Well, it's a period listed building, and period listed building. No, it's a good bit of work, but it's a good fixer upper. It's a good starter home. I think it could be like something you could really put your mark on. And
the dragon scene is like
it's the bachelor pad.
The dragon scene is like, is this place haunted? It's like, yeah, this place is super haunted. And it's like, why would you fucking tell me that? It's like, you got to be upfront about these things that are realtor. Come on.
Yeah, this is a specific bit of Japanese lore that they go into at the end because they make a comment on in other countries with older buildings. You don't have to talk about this.
They show the example of a slime moving into a house haunted by a recently murdered goblin. It's just like, this is good stuff.
Yeah, he leaves him with a vacuum cleaner and a typewriter and some typewriter ink. You might need these.
Jumping over like fucking game genres and game styles completely at this stage. It doesn't matter. It's all making uppy. Who cares?
He did establish on his business card earlier that he, among being a realtor and an architect, he's a demon lord. And he's like, wow, he must be called a demon lord because he's so good at real estate. It's like, no, I think he's a literal demon lord dragon.
And what's the we get there's a Shining reference as well when he reaches through the door to hand him some healing
some green potions,
green herbs deep enough. Chris Redfield or something is like this kind of whooshes by in the background like it's from Alien.
He has to head out of the room. He said he was in the room next door, and it's pretty spooky because it was a ghost boy in my room, and it's like, wait, where's the door gone? Wait, where's his room? Oh god, I've gone into first person. This is bad. This is pretty bad. He's handed a torch by a ghost, so that works out.
Yes.
And
we get a Joji Nakata character, Lord Samuel.
Yay.
And he's a friendly guy. He's like, oh, all the ghouls, they wanted to have you a big welcome to the fucking party thing, and they're all going like, hooray! They're all throwing them up in the air. Yeah. They really went to the nines and smeared blood across the floors and like really got that haunting going. Just for you, because we'd be happy to have you. Because if you buy the house now, the ghouls stay. Isn't that great? I said, I'd recommend buying this now. And he's like, isn't that like a lot of fucking monsters have? Don't worry, we can just stay out back. And it's like a whole graveyard out back. And you just give us a holler if you need us. He's like, you should have mentioned there was a graveyard outside the house. But these ghouls are alright.
So much for Letty though. So he turns it down, and but he just mentioned that he manages, as they're leaving, Lord Samuel manages to summon his arm back to wave goodbye to him.
Yeah.
He summons his arm back and he's like, hey, best of luck on your future endeavors, man. No hard feelings. Like you do you. And he's like, Lord Samuel was all right. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. Like he got killed by a rival lord, and
he committed suicide. He had his land taken.
He and all his followers.
Him and his followers committed suicide. Yeah. So, came back as whites or wraiths or whatever, and
vengeful wraiths,
murdered everyone
and slaughtered everyone. Yeah, and he's like, good guy, fucking sound out.
He's tremoring.
Integrity. That's what he has.
But yes, Diarrhea does look back on an earlier time when he ran into him, the Lord, when he was alive, where he was taking another dragon around looking for a home, which presumably is Letty's dad, I would assume.
Yeah.
When they were younger.
That must be why I'm so fond of dragons.
Also, it's good for us on the deposit, dragons and hordes of gold and that. So it should be easy to get this guy into some starter home somewhere soon.
And then we've got Megalobox, Nomad, episode 2. Somebody who's better at pronouncing Spanish words. Give it
let me have a go. La desesperación de coraje a let's try it again. La desesperación de coraje a los cobardes.
That's good. I always forget to make the J like a soft one. Yeah.
It's the desesperación. It's not desperation. It's desesperación.
Desesperación. Yeah.
Desperation will give courage to a coward.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little bit of hope back in the show. A little bit, just a little bit.
He's off the junk. He's not the sauce yet, but he's off the junk, at least by the end of the episode. He's
trying to sign up to a thing, and some little punk steals his fucking motorbike.
And we learn that Namba is dead during this episode. And he also starts hallucinating the little boy. So I'm like, oh, blimey, what happened to him?
Don't know. Well, you kind of seeing him in visions because he goes to check down his bike, which is in this immigrant community who live in an amusement park, and finds his bike there. It's been stripped down because this young lad stole it, and his man runs a garage there. If I clip on the earphone saying, "Fucking, what told you about stealing bikes?" Sorry, mister. I could just sort it out straight away. Whoa, you don't look so good. And
she also says she'll try and buy back his gear, which has been sold for probably fuck all, because it's a really ass piece of gear, basically.
Yeah. But Joe just starts fucking, I guess, coming down real hard, and he passes out there, so to take care of him. And they get him in. I think it's because they're kind of kids running around. He's like seeing the kids as Sachio, and
yeah.
There's this kind of sense there that we know he lost his exhibition match against this Edison Liu character. I think he was like the protege of Yuri. You see kind of glimpses of that fight in the ring.
We see Yuri in your men's corner.
On the canvas.
And we see Sachiko and what's our guy? He's at the end of this episode. The boxer who didn't have legs. Like he's in Joe's corner in that match. Let me go back to
the list of characters, and I'll tell you who he is.
It's
it is Agaraki.
But it's
Aragaki, right?
There seems to be the sense of more of like melancholy. I don't know whether they had some kind of massive falling out after that, or whether this is a fight that he should not have taken. Because you see, he was I was on the canvas remembering this. He's like, there's the tears went up out of his eyes, and he's interspersed in with like Nambu, I suppose, on his deathbed in the hospital. We get more fun visions of him. He's staring into the mirror, and Nambu's behind him, and saying, "Hey,
like, initially
man,
Nambu's behind him, but like later, like Nambu is like the reflection he sees in the mirror instead of like there's no him in the mirror, which is really interesting visual. But it was kind of the terrifying ghost thing of Namba, like kind of looking up, and it's like his other eye is fucking gone. It's like, you're remembering the rest of it now, are you, Joe? Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's like, Nambu, it was me. I killed you, didn't I? It was me who got you killed. It's just, what does that mean, man? Did you push him too hard? You get involved in something bad? I think it's more something to do because I guess he fell ill. Maybe he wanted Nambu to keep training him, but he wasn't up for it. And I don't know. That's it could be, but it just there's a poignancy, I suppose. Maybe Joe feels like, I let so many people down. I fucking fucked up so many lives trying to chase this dream, and I can't face those people anymore. I can't go back to it. He's out in his penance journey, I suppose.
Yeah, but he is seeing the results of the things that he did because, wouldn't you know it? This is the caravan that he's staying in is Chiefs. And he's kind of like, yeah, fucking dude, we were inspired by you. You were fighting with nothing, literally, against people who had like big old fucking machines to do that for them. And made me think, fuck it, maybe we could fucking manage to fight back as well. So presumably he was the guy.
We're a migrant community. We came here to this country with nothing in our hands, but clothes in our backs. And you're this inspiration for us because you show us what to do. Because you were like the working class hero. You were like the hero of the working man. You showed
also using nothing. Yeah.
But we're about getting into Megalonia. You were like a champion prize fighter already. You fucking did it all without fucking any robot arms. You did it out in the gear, and that's just phenomenal. But I suppose that comes with a lot of pressure as well to hold up that vision.
Yes.
So maybe that's what made Joe crack in the end. Again, we don't know this yet. There's lots you can kind of say about it. But Joe, it seems that Joe doesn't want to be held up to anymore. He just thinks that he's not the ideal. He's not the hero that everyone would believe him to be. But whether he likes it or not, he is. And that makes him a valuable target then for the local legitimate business outfit.
Yes, because
they rolled up one day to say, it's like, hey, we're you guys got to leave in 2 weeks. Or within 2 weeks, because the guy they were renting the abandoned fucking theme park off died. So it's like, yeah, we're reselling this fucking place. Fuck off. And there is a lot of racism, not even fucking implied in the thing. It was like, oh, you hang around with that crowd, do you?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
But like the young lad.
Does he get a name?
Son. He's got a name, I forgot it, but he's Mara's son, the garage owner.
Yeah.
He's off. He's tearing away with some of the other like young delinquents around there. It's like to go into the shop, and it's just like, fun. You guys harassing immigrants again? Fun saying, yeah. So what about old man? Fun saying, what about that kid there? Oh, that kid, he's not like them. He's all right. He's not like one of them.
He's one of the good ones, or whatever the fuck. But all his friends like abandoned him as soon as a crazy old bum went, I'm gonna kick the shit out of this. As
soon as anime now Flanagan gets his hands on him.
You got less scars, but yeah.
Mio is the kid's name.
Mio.
Yes. Yeah. They do say his name as well.
He's not a big he's not a big plasticine cat.
But he's sold out that Gearless Joe is actually hanging out in their little community to presumably the fucking same gangsters. Let's fucking call them gangsters. So they're like, we'd love to have him in the tournament. It's like, yeah, you've just missed him. Bike got repaired and he fucked off. So sorry about that.
He comes back and he's going to train the chief.
Yeah,
because everyone in the village, in the town, is basically taking the piss out of Chief. He's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking, because he has to reveal at that stage. It's like, I'm going to basically try and win this Megalobox tournament and have enough money to buy this whole fucking place for us. And they're all like, yeah, but you're always fucking getting knocked out, Chief. Yeah, Chief, you eat it. And it's just like, no, he's good. He's got the skills. It's just he throws it to get money to actually start fucking doing this thing. Now he's just on a clock.
Yes, he's not like Joe's pride was eating him in the first series, whereas, yeah, as Chief explains, it's a matter of survival. Yes.
He threw his pride away. It was just like this was something he could do to make money, to keep his fucking family okay, to keep his friends and the rest of the people in this community. Yeah,
I just got that second job, like playing the guitar set and that dive bar at the weekends.
Yeah, whatever money you can make.
Whatever he can. That's probably it's just like, again, Joel maybe he's remembering to all those times when we got to win this next fight. Otherwise, the money we borrowed from the Yakuza, they're not going to like that, and they're going to cut out parts of us, which they do eventually of Nambu. It feels like, he's gotten so far away from that. He was held to a different kind of standard to kind of forgot what was in his begin with. Whereas he's kind of getting back to where he was when it's kind of a weird kind of thing. He's kind of like getting broken back down to where he was fighting in fucking underground rigged matches. But he's from coming across Yuri now, that was like kind of ignited his pride and not pride, more like kind of like dignity and self-respect, I suppose. More so than pride. It isn't meant to be like this consuming thing that is ultimately a destructive thing. It's about trying to move away from pride and more towards self-respect.
It's like it might have been that
do what you have to.
We didn't see what happened, Joe, after season 1, but like maybe that pride got corrupted to something nasty that, like he says, got Gamba killed.
Again, I don't think that Gamba was killed. I think it just was.
Well, it might have been just overworked or something like that. Yeah,
but we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
So many things in there. That's why it makes it interesting to talk about and discuss again. Again, I wish I had time to watch it twice over again.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of stuff we're gonna miss the first pass.
Yeah, but I really love the kind of vibe of it. The setting itself, we're not entirely sure, but it definitely gives the impression of somewhere on the Mexico, United States of America border, somewhere along there. Or it's some other part of the world in a similar situation.
Like, despite the fact they're using specifically Spanish and everything, it could be a lot of different people's experience of the fucking world, basically. It's a universal enough fucking kind of story, despite robot arm boxing. But yeah, specifically probably America of some regard.
Well, we see the currency in this episode. I don't think it is America.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the bills are thousands.
It could be pesos. So we're fixed onto the border. But for all kind of robot arms, for all the implied, societal and probably environmental breakdown, science fiction is written about the present, not the future. So for all the trappings of all these things out, this is very much rooted in where we are right now.
It is a bit. It is a bit Save the Community Centre though in its current plot.
Yeah, but I mean that's a good place to start off. Like it's a smaller scale to start off.
It is,
where it wants
but
to go,
it's the. It is. I mean, it's always been. It's always a bit. What they're trying to get Barton Fink to write in Barton Fink, a Wallace Beery boxing film. I.e. the champ's done well. Can we make another one? I mean, I enjoy it, but it is very much it's still very much within its genre of boxing stories.
Sure. Yeah, underdog boxing.
It's getting into its rhythm though that it had, where you have the episode or two to build up to the boxing match, to the fight you see in the ring, because it needs to it's really putting across the stakes of it involved. Not just the material ones about the prize money or the title or that, but no, somebody has to do this because this is something they need to do to put this ghost in their past to bed, or to find a way in the future to want to happen themselves. So it's the personal fucking emotional thing involved in it, and that's when it's really good. When I might fall down, it did fall down towards the end of it in terms of the actual boxing match depicted. It wasn't wanting for the emotional investment involved. Of the flaws of the last one were like the fighting got less important as it went on, and the it's definitely of its genre of the kind of underdog Rocky type fucking story, but it does want you to be involved with the emotional development and the stakes. It's more concerned the personal stakes of the fight rather than the actual fucking fight itself. Yeah. Got the intro down there as well. It's very much like, it's like the modern western, with the fun splash guitar and I hope they don't go too far into the whole like Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino. They're like the pulp film everyone say no,
I don't think
the two dudes who stole most of their ideas from people who did it better already. Let's take it easy.
I think the thing it's got going for it is its execution.
It is gorgeous to look at as well. I mean, like for all the grunge and everything, that's part of it. Like everything's just so fucking packed with living world. Yeah,
so much to it. But the music also is kind of a very big part of it. A lot of music to it, and I like the very melancholy ending credit song. It's a different kind of atmosphere, because the ending credit song for the previous series, it felt like it builds up and then it explodes. But that's what Joe's going to do in the series, but it feels a lot more fun, downbeat and melancholy. It sounds more like this lament or a lullaby almost.
Yeah.
Right, that's it for this week.
I love it.
That's still too much to watch for that. It's even more because I've added ODDTAXI.
Yeah, more things probably.
I mean,
and a lot of it is very fucking good.
Now, none of us watched that other thing which just went up.
What was the other thing?
Which is probably good. Let me have a look.
Just trying not to avoid the good thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck. I was gonna check out that. Good thing I didn't then.
That's another thing that's got really good execution from what I hear.
Well, okay, the guy with the Popeye icon says that Gloomy the Naughty Grizzly is not their kind of comedy, so I guess we can probably give that a miss. Though it is only a minute long.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
A minute, you
1 minute too far. Plus 100 more minutes or so too far.
I mean, I did actually watch the second episode that had Talia World Stars as well, which had a America entering wars late joke, where they were discussing what to do if aliens invaded Earth. America says, "Well, I'll let all the other countries go and deal with it first, and then I'll come in and rescue you all." Like in the movies. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
it specifically says like in the movies, I believe.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't they do it in their own movie?
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, I've not seen the movie of Italia. Otherwise, I managed not to watch anything else, so I'm good for now.
I mean, it's a good problem to have.
It is a problem. Something we'll have to give when a Rubicon comes along.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll watch what we watch. VLADLOVE, we've only got 3 more episodes of that for a start, so
we could have just watched all of VLADLOVE, but we're just pacing it out, because I feel like marathoning this would be doing it a disservice, honestly.
I think VLADLOVE, just by the nature of it, you need to parse it out a little bit. It isn't the kind of program that you can just watch alone in a row. I think it's almost deliberately that way, because Marmara Roshi would be a dude who have opinions about the way media and television is going. She would probably have something that's you try and watch this. You will not get a note.
6-episode blocks, so.
That's the thing that makes me go, was that fuck you, fucking try and watch it in 6-episode blocks, you piece of shit.
Challenging. Because he was in the press, like the kind of press tour, where he was like saying, "Oh, I'm going to show him what a crotchety old man can do." It's like, okay, he's fucking throwing it down.
The YouTube channel's weirdly started posting Pat Labour stuff in it.
Peace out. Give us the good stuff. Well, they're not wrong. That's also good.
Yeah, that took me by surprise the other day. I was like, Pat Labour? What's that? Oh, okay, it's in the VLADLOVE channel. Because he wasn't having anything to do with the Pat Labour Easy project, which seems to have dissipated to the point where the account's not called Pat Labour Easy anymore. It's just a account for advertising Pat Labour merchandise and
Pat Labour difficult
events. Yes, by the sounds of things. So who knows? Maybe no more Pat Labour. I'd rather have Pat Labour from everybody else involved in Pat Labour than Mamoru Oshii, because those live action stuff, what I saw of them was not good.
No.
But there we go. God, Oshinbo's up to episode 57 on the YouTube channel now.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that's close to a quarter of the way through or something, maybe. Or maybe not, maybe just 1/6. I can't remember if it's just over 200 or nearly 300 episodes that it's got. Anyway, let's wrap this up. We're back Wednesday. Is that correct, Niall?
I got a surprise for you, because hope I haven't spoiled the plans. I took the first 2 days, or in this case, nights of next week off, so I could do it on the 20th. In fact, it would be even better if I did it on the 20th.
Yeah,
if
that's
it's better
fine.
for you,
Doesn't
though.
matter to me. It just means I've got after rearranging these calendars, so I wouldn't have to move them. I immediately have to move one.
I knew it had happened now and again. What can you do?
1 week at a time, lads. That's how you should live your life.
Oh, no. I've got things in my calendar reminding me I've got to watch Dr. Slump on Thursday. And I think another thing, if I can get both of them watched. So, yes, if you want to read me watching cartoons rather than listening to me watching cartoons, you can follow me on Anime40 on Twitter. It's my new account for watching anime almost exactly 40 years ago. So currently Gold Lightan, which this week was absolutely rubbish. It was ugly as hell. Thursday's episode 2 of Dr. Slump, and I think first episode of Queen Millennia. If I can. 2 things I've already watched. Right, yeah.
On top of the
but not much is on Thursday.
If they would just all of them didn't come out on Sunday, we'd be doing fucking better. That's the thing I'm saying.
That is a significant part of the problem. Those three things dropping Sunday night. I guess we could change our week from Sunday to Saturday rather than Monday to Sunday that we covered. That would give us the entire week to watch those
cheeky,
Sundays.
I like that.
Yeah, you can do that, yes. A lot of countries counter week that way. We're international podcast. We take the best of
something to
every world.
ponder on. We'll be back next week. Goodbye. Let me hit the right stop buttons.
Farewell.
I just immediately
Smash,
hang up on Dwayne and Noel.
I don't know if you want. I ain't gonna stop
what he
you.
really
We're still on
thinks.
camera.
Stop him,
so
audience. He'll
don't take
kill
too many
again.
Okay, it looks like you're taking your jump
I'm not
on.
wasting electricity.
Where's the go live button? I want the end button. There we go.
They're recording.
End stream.
Good.
End. Excellent. End the OBS.